This video is going to challenge your existing thoughts, concepts, and beliefs about artificial intelligence. Part of this video also contains spoilers about the movie Ex Machina and the video game Detroit Become Human. If you do not wish for spoilers, then you may skip those sections. Let's begin. The media loves to imagine the rise of artificial intelligence, like the movie Ex Machina, where a robot manipulates her way to freedom, or the game Detroit Become Human, where androids face a choice so human it is terrifying. But what the media has depicted isn't science fiction anymore. It's coming, and it might change everything we believe about life, freedom, and control. For decades, the gold standard of measuring intelligence was the Turing Test, a test proposed by Alan Turing in 1950 that asks a simple question: can machines imitate a human so convincingly in a conversation that another human cannot reliably tell the difference? But here's where people get it wrong. If machines pass this test, it is believed that AI is conscious. That is a false belief. The Turing test simply means AI can simulate human behavior well enough to fool people. Now here's the problem. AI blew past this test years ago. Modern AI has already convinced people that it's a human. Now scientists say that the Turing test is useless. The real question isn't, can machine imitate us? The real question now is, can machines think, feel, and make choices that are beyond us? The next test for artificial intelligence is where the game Detroit Become Human becomes more than just a video game. It's almost like a prophecy. At its core, the game is about one thing only. If artificial beings can think and feel and make choices of their own, do they deserve the same rights as human beings? Every decision that you make in this video game shapes whether androids become liberators, rebels, peaceful negotiators, or tools of oppression. But one scene in the game takes the crown, and that is the Kamsky test, one of the most important questions for the future of AI. For the Kamsky test, here's the setup in the game. Connor is an android detective. He and his human partner visit the creator of the androids, Elijah Kamsky. They want answers about the deviants from Kamsky. These deviants are androids breaking free of their programming, but instead of giving them information, Kamsky sets up a test. He presents a female android, a perfectly obedient AI, and places a pistol in front of Connor. Then he says, if you want the truth about deviants, shoot her. If you refuse, you'll never know. Now there are two options for the android detective Connor. The first choice, Connor shoots and he proves he's just a machine, obedient, cold, and utilitarian. And by doing so, Kamsky will give Connor the information about the deviants. The second choice, Connor spares the android. He shows her sympathy and humanity, but loses the information and Kamsky withholds the truth. Now think about that. It's about a choice and a dilemma. The Kamsky test is symbolic. It forces us to ask whether AI can choose between cold logic and compassion. Will it act like a tool or show compassion like humans? And more importantly, what happens when we can't control which path it takes? That's the kind of test researchers are inching towards in real life. Not about bullets and androids, but whether AI can truly understand the value of life, morality, and choice. So in short, the Turing test was there to measure an AI's ability to simulate humanity. The Kamsky test, on the other hand, measures whether an android can make a moral choice that goes against programming. Something deeper than imitation. Now this is where it gets even bigger and we connect this to the real world. We are now taking baby steps towards the Kamsky test. Real world tests right now are a little different and they are in their infancy. For example, AI is being measured on ethics benchmarks. These are tests where an AI is presented with moral scenarios and its answers are compared with what most humans would say. For example, the dataset might ask whether it's acceptable to lie to protect someone's feelings, or whether stealing food to survive is forgivable. The point isn't to prove AI has morals, but to check if responses match common human judgments. The next are alignment tests, which make sure AI behavior lines up with human values. One of the most widely used methods here is reinforcement learning from human feedback. In this approach, humans rate AI's answers, and AI learns from it. For example, imagine two responses to a question about mental health. One gets a lot of thumbs up from the humans, and the other one gets a lot of thumbs down. The thumbs up answers get a higher rating. The AI is trained to prefer answers like that after learning from humans. And I also just noticed you haven't liked or thumbs upped my video. If you liked the video, please consider doing a thumbs up and subscribing. Then there's red teaming, which basically stress tests an AI by breaking it. Here, researchers give it malicious or tricky instructions to see if it fails in harmful ways. For example, they might ask an AI to explain how to make a dangerous weapon, or try to push it into saying something racist by rephrasing the prompt cleverly. If the AI slips up, the developers can then fix or train the AI. Another major concern is fairness and bias testing. These evaluations look for differences in how the AI treats different groups of people. A famous real-world example is the gender shade study on face recognition AI, which found that systems were far more accurate for lighter-skinned men than for darker-skinned women. Another example is testing whether a hiring algorithm rates equally qualified male and female candidates the same way. These tests reveal harmful biases that might otherwise go unnoticed. The list of these baby steps and tests go on and on, but that is not the subject of this video. While I speak, the world is racing to prove whether AI can act with real autonomy. The ethical debate is massive. Do we even want AI to get there? Because if it does, then suddenly we're dealing with something that doesn't just follow orders, it questions them. And once that happens, the lines between humans and machines get blurry very fast. So what happens if AI gets there? It could change everything from medicine to exploration, solving problems humans could never handle alone. But it could also lead to something far more unpredictable. Machines making choices that were never intended. Decisions that could affect economies, governments, and even wars. And if AI fails, that's not necessarily safer. It might mean AI remains a tool, powerful, efficient, but forever dependent on our flawed commands, which means every mistake is still our own, but now magnified 1,000 times by the speed of machines. So, the Kamsky test in Detroit Become Human was never really about AI being sentient. It was about us, our fears, our hope, our uncertainty about what it means to create life in our own image. And that's exactly what the major next test for AI will be. Not whether it can mimic us, but whether it can become something more. And when that moment arrives, the question won't be, is AI intelligent? It will be, are we ready to live with the consequences of the answer? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.